The secret life of the golden langur. Deep within the emerald canopies of the Himalayan foothills, where morning mist dances through ancient trees and the air resonates with the calls of exotic birds, lives one of the world's most enigmatic primates. The golden langur, with its lustrous coat that seems to capture and reflect the very essence of sunlight, remains one of nature's most closely guarded secrets. This remarkable creature, known scientifically as Trachypithecus gi, exists in a world that few humans have witnessed, leading a life of extraordinary complexity and beauty that has captivated researchers and conservationists alike. A golden discovery. The golden langur's story begins with its relatively recent discovery by science. Unlike many primate species that have been known to humans for centuries, the golden langur remained hidden from the scientific community until 1953, when it was first described by Edward Pritchard G., a British tea planter and naturalist working in Assam, India. This late discovery speaks to the secretive nature of these primates and their preference for remote, inaccessible habitats that have shielded them from human observation. The species was initially thought to be a subspecies of the capped langur, but subsequent research revealed distinct characteristics that warranted its classification as a separate species. The golden langur's unique coloration, behavioral patterns, and genetic makeup set it apart from its relatives, making it one of the most distinctive members of the leaf monkey family. The realm of gold. Golden langurs inhabit a remarkably restricted range that spans the borderlands between India and Bhutan. Their territory is confined to the lowland forests of western Assam in India and the foothills of the Black Mountains in Bhutan, an area that encompasses less than 10,000 square kilometers. This limited distribution makes them one of the most geographically restricted primates in the world, a factor that adds to both their mystique and their vulnerability. The forests that golden langurs call home are a tapestry of tropical and subtropical vegetation. These are places where sal trees tower overhead, creating a cathedral-like canopy punctuated by strangler figs, bamboo groves, and dense understory vegetation. The climate is characterized by heavy monsoon rains, high humidity, and temperatures that rarely dip below comfortable levels, creating an environment that supports an incredible diversity of plant and animal life. Within this verdant realm, golden langurs have carved out specific niches. They show a marked preference for the upper and middle canopy layers, rarely descending to the forest floor except when necessary. Their habitat selection is closely tied to the availability of young leaves, shoots, and fruits that form the cornerstone of their diet. The seasonal nature of their food sources means that golden langurs must be intimately familiar with the phenology of their forest home, knowing when and where different plants will produce the tender growth they prefer. Masters of the canopy. The physical adaptations of golden langurs reflect their arboreal lifestyle with remarkable precision. Their bodies are built for life in the trees, with long, powerful limbs that provide extraordinary reach and flexibility. Their hands and feet are perfectly adapted for grasping branches, with elongated fingers and opposable thumbs that allow them to navigate even the most precarious perches with confidence. Perhaps most striking is their coat, which ranges from cream-colored to deep golden hues depending on age, season, and individual variation. Young golden langurs are born with dark fur that gradually lightens as they mature, reaching the characteristic golden coloration that gives the species its name. This coat serves multiple functions beyond mere identification. It provides insulation during cooler months and may play a role in social signaling within the group. Their tail, nearly as long as their body, serves as a crucial balancing tool during their acrobatic movements through the canopy. Unlike some primates, golden langurs rarely use their tails for grasping, instead relying on it as a dynamic counterbalance that allows them to make spectacular leaps between trees. Observers have recorded jumps of more than 10 meters, feats that showcase the remarkable athletic abilities of these arboreal acrobats. The art of leaf eating. Golden langurs belong to a specialized group of primates known as leaf monkeys or colobines, and their digestive system reflects this dietary specialization. Their stomachs are multi-chambered, similar to those of ruminants like cows, allowing them to break down the tough cellulose found in leaves through bacterial fermentation. This adaptation enables them to extract nutrients from vegetation that would be indigestible to most other primates. Their diet consists primarily of young leaves, shoots, and buds, which they select with remarkable discrimination. Golden langurs have been observed to choose only the youngest, most tender parts of plants, often discarding older leaves after a single bite. This selective feeding behavior reflects their intimate knowledge of plant chemistry. Younger leaves generally contain higher levels of protein and lower concentrations of toxic compounds than mature foliage. The seasonal nature of their environment means that golden langurs must adapt their diet throughout the year. During the wet season, when new growth is abundant, they can afford to be highly selective, focusing on preferred species and plant parts. As the dry season approaches and food becomes scarcer, they broaden their diet to include more mature leaves, fruits, and occasionally flowers. This dietary flexibility has been crucial to their survival in an environment where food availability can fluctuate dramatically. Research has revealed that golden langurs consume plants from dozens of different families, with particular favorites including species from the Euphorbiaceae, Moraceae, and Fabaceae families. They show a remarkable ability to identify and avoid plants with high levels of secondary compounds that could be harmful, suggesting a sophisticated understanding of plant chemistry that has been refined over generations. Social architects. The social structure of golden langur communities reveals a complex tapestry of relationships that governs every aspect of their daily lives. These primates live in multi-male, multi-female groups that typically range from 8 to 15 individuals, though groups as large as 20 have been observed. The composition of these groups is fluid, with individuals joining and leaving based on a complex interplay of factors including food availability, mating opportunities, and social dynamics. Within each group, a clear hierarchy exists, though it operates in a more subtle manner than the rigid dominant structure seen in some other primate species. Adult males typically occupy the highest ranks, but their dominance is often contested and can shift based on alliances, physical condition, and the support of other group members. Females also maintain their own hierarchy, which influences access to preferred feeding sites and plays a role in determining mating opportunities. Communication among golden langurs is a sophisticated affair involving a rich repertoire of vocalizations, gestures, and facial expressions. Their vocal communications include loud calls that can carry for kilometers through the forest, serving to coordinate group movements and maintain contact between separated members. They also produce more subtle vocalizations used for close-range communication, including soft grunts, chatters, and alarm calls that warn of potential dangers. Grooming plays a central role in golden langur society, serving functions that extend far beyond simple hygiene. These grooming sessions are important social bonding activities that help to establish and maintain relationships within the group. The patterns of who grooms whom reveal the underlying social structure and alliance networks that define group dynamics. The dance of reproduction. The reproductive cycle of golden langurs is closely tied to the seasonal rhythms of their forest home. Mating typically occurs during the cooler months, with births timed to coincide with a period of maximum food availability during the following wet season. This timing ensures that nursing mothers have access to the high-quality nutrition they need to support both themselves and their developing offspring. Female golden langurs typically give birth to a single offspring after a gestation period of approximately 6 months. Newborns are born with dark fur and distinctive facial features that gradually change as they mature. The mother-infant bond is extraordinarily strong, with young langurs remaining in almost constant contact with their mothers for the first several months of life. The care of young golden langurs is not limited to mothers alone. Other group members, particularly females, often show interest in infants and may engage in alloparenting behaviors such as carrying, grooming, and protecting the young. This cooperative care system helps to ensure the survival of offspring and strengthens social bonds within the group. As young golden langurs grow, they gradually become more independent, though they may remain with their natal group for several years. Males typically leave their birth group upon reaching sexual maturity, while females may remain and eventually reproduce within the same group. This dispersal pattern helps to prevent inbreeding and maintains genetic diversity within the population. Guardians under threat. Despite their adaptations and resilience, golden langurs face mounting pressures that threaten their continued survival. Their restricted range makes them particularly vulnerable to habitat loss and fragmentation, threats that have intensified as human populations in the region continue to grow and expand into previously undisturbed areas. Deforestation for agriculture, logging, and development has fragmented the continuous forest habitat that golden langurs require. This fragmentation not only reduces the total amount of available habitat, but also creates barriers that prevent groups from moving freely across the landscape. Isolated populations are more vulnerable to local extinctions and have reduced genetic diversity, factors that can compromise their long-term viability. The conversion of forests to tea plantations has been particularly problematic in some areas, as these monoculture environments provide little of the dietary diversity that golden langurs require. While some individuals have been observed feeding in plantation edges, these modified habitats cannot support viable populations over the long term. Human-wildlife conflict represents another growing threat, as golden langurs occasionally raid crops when natural food sources become scarce. This behavior brings them into conflict with local farmers, sometimes resulting in retaliatory killings. The construction of roads and other infrastructure has also increased mortality rates, as golden langurs are sometimes struck by vehicles when attempting to cross roads to access fragmented habitat patches. Climate change adds another layer of complexity to the challenges facing golden langurs. Changes in precipitation patterns and temperature regimes can alter the phenology of their food plants, potentially creating mismatches between peak nutritional needs and food availability. Rising temperatures may also force them to seek higher elevations, further restricting their already limited range. Voices in the wilderness. The conservation of golden langurs has become a priority for researchers and conservation organizations working in the region. Efforts to protect these remarkable primates have taken multiple forms, from habitat preservation and restoration to community engagement and education programs. Several protected areas within the golden langurs range provide crucial habitat protection, including the Manas National Park in India and the Royal Manas National Park in Bhutan. These parks preserve large areas of intact forest habitat and provide refuges where golden langur populations can exist with minimal human interference. However, the effectiveness of these protected areas depends on adequate funding, management, and enforcement, factors that can vary significantly over time. Community-based conservation initiatives have shown particular promise in golden langur conservation. Programs that work with local communities to develop sustainable livelihood alternatives while protecting forest habitat have achieved notable success. These initiatives recognize that the long-term conservation of golden langurs depends on the support and participation of the people who share their landscape. Research continues to play a crucial role in golden langur conservation by providing the scientific foundation needed for effective protection strategies. Long-term studies of golden langur behavior, ecology, and genetics are revealing important insights into their needs and vulnerabilities. This research is also helping to identify priority areas for conservation action and evaluate the effectiveness of different protection strategies. Windows into wonder. The secret life of the golden langur offers profound insights into the complexity and beauty of the natural world. These remarkable primates, with their golden coats and sophisticated social structures, represent millions of years of evolutionary adaptation to life in the forest canopy. Their story reminds us of the incredible diversity of life on Earth and the intricate relationships that bind different species together in complex ecological webs. The challenges facing golden langurs also serve as a microcosm of the broader conservation challenges confronting wildlife around the world. Their story illustrates how human activities can impact even the most remote and seemingly pristine habitats, and how the fate of individual species is often tied to broader patterns of environmental change. Yet there is reason for hope in the golden langur's story. The dedication of researchers, conservationists, and local communities working to protect these remarkable primates demonstrates the positive impact that focused conservation efforts can achieve. Each golden langur that swings through the forest canopy represents not just an individual life, but also the continuation of an evolutionary lineage that stretches back millions of years. As we continue to uncover the secrets of the golden langur's life, we gain not only scientific knowledge but also a deeper appreciation for the natural world and our responsibility to protect it. These golden guardians of the forest canopy serve as ambassadors for their threatened habitats, and reminders of what we stand to lose if we fail to act decisively to protect the world's remaining wild places. The secret life of the golden langur, once hidden in the mists of remote Himalayan forests, now serves as a beacon calling us to recognize the extraordinary beauty and complexity of the natural world. In protecting these remarkable primates, we protect not just a single species, but the entire web of life that sustains our planet's incredible biodiversity. Their golden presence in the forest canopy reminds us that there are still wonders to discover and protect, if only we have the wisdom and determination to do so.